stage, but you also have something to congratulate him about, because Gotham was just renewed for a season 4, so we'll see more Gotham. And we of course have a couple more episodes of season 3 airing Monday nights on Fox. You know him as Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. Give it up for Robin Lord Taylor! I love people that skip out on work and school to like come to the con, and that's without sarcasm. I genuinely love it. It's, guys, there's a microphone right in the middle of the room, so and that guy's already got a question. But line up there, and actually, let me ask this: when you're lining up with the mic, just kneel down if you can, so we're not blocking the people behind you. Okay, so they can still see. But before I get to that, let me just say, well, first off, congratulations on season 4, man. I'm really happy for it. So I know you kind of knew before it was official, but where were you? How did you get the announcement that season 4 was happening?
Where was I? I was at home and I got a text from our executive producer, basically with ideas for my haircut. And it was like, season 4 picked up 22 episodes. And I was like, yes! So I was like, of course it has to be about my haircut. It's just like endless drama with that.
We were so close to getting to shave your head.
I know, right? I mean, that was because we were talking, I was like, it took a while for us to get the news, and I was like, the second I find out, I'm shaving my head, we're gonna put it on Instagram, and you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be a huge moment for me, but thank God that I don't have to do it for one more year.
So ups and downs. You have a job still, but now you have to deal with the hair.
Champagne.
Yes, exactly, yes. Let's go ahead and throw it to the audience. Hello there.
Hey, Robin.
Hi, how are you?
Mark,
great.
Came all the way from Richmond, Virginia to see you.
Holy
So
moly.
glad you came
All
out.
right. Thank you so much, man.
I've got 2 kind of unrelated questions.
Yeah.
One, you're the 3rd significant penguin that's ever been in non-comic form. Who do you draw your inspiration from most? Burgess Meredith, Danny DeVito, a little bit of your own twisted self?
Yeah, a lot of that. I've said this before, but I grew up watching every day after school. It was Scooby-Doo, followed by the Adam West series, and I watched it every day. And then DuckTales, but that was it. But anyway, so I'd been watching Burgess Meredith for my whole childhood, and then of course Batman Returns comes out, and I was obsessed, watched it a million times. And so both of their performances are part of my life, and so I am just equally influenced by them. And although we are telling a very different side of this character, thankfully the previous all of the Batman films and television shows, all individually, depending on the director, have their own look and style and feel, and we're no different. And they're like the most amazing penguins for their respective projects. And so and I guess I'm inspired by our amazing showrunner John Stevens and Bruno Heller and Danny Cannon. They write so many of the scripts, and the rest of our writers. Like, it all comes right off the page, and they write for my voice, and they're my inspiration. So yeah.
Oh, you go.
Thank you so much.
My question was, what project were you working on with James Franco that you just finished up?
Yes, it's called The Long Home, and it's an adaptation of a novel, and Josh Hutcherson is in it, and Courtney Love is in it, and James Franco, of course, who is amazing. We were shooting in Hamilton, Ohio, and just running around with these crazy kids. It was a really amazing experience. I'm really excited for you guys to see it when it comes out. So thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Hi.
Hello there.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
Just
you for
wondering,
having
do
me.
you collect anything, and do you have any props that you've taken home?
What's that?
What was the second part?
Do you collect anything, and have you taken home any props? Like you said?
Okay.
Oh, any
Well, so earlier this season, this is a spoiler if you haven't seen season 3, so know that.
I think we're in a safe place here. You guys are caught up, right? Yeah.
So anyway, when Oswald is running for mayor and is ultimately elected, all of that was happening during our national election, and so the mansion had been turned into campaign headquarters, and so there were all of these posters and buttons and pamphlets that the art department made, and I definitely have I was like taking stuff in it. I was like, this shit's amazing. Take it home. And so, but it also, it's like a lot of stuff had Oswald's slogan, which was "Make Gotham safe again," and so it's a really like, of course, I look at it now and it kind of sends a chill of terror through my skin because of subsequent occurrences. But yeah, it's I took a lot of that stuff, and I told them flat out, I was like, that cane is coming home with me. I was like, the day that cane is coming home with me. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thanks. What about the painting of Paul Rubens, who played your dad on the show? Is that still? I guess it's still hanging in the Cobblepot Manor. Right?
That is still hanging in the Cobblepot Manor, and also, although I will say, so to have those paintings made, they actually, they commissioned an artist to paint them, and so they had taken a bunch of photos of Paul dressed as Elijah, like in various positions, like sort of around his house, and there's this one, and they got one because they were gonna use it, they used something else, but it was like a full him standing there in front of the fireplace, giant, and they had this big gilt frame put around it, and then they hung it in my dressing room after. And so it's really funny because the way we have the dressing room set up is that I have my own when I'm working there, but if I'm not at work, they usually have other people coming in and using it and whatever. And so, every once in a while, if you follow Chris Chalk on Instagram, his Instagram story, he had a lot of pictures of Paul Rubens just sort of standing there, he's like, this is my dressing room, and there's this picture of Paul Rubens staring at me. But yeah.
But that's yours then at the
so at
it's
the end
going
of the day,
home.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hi.
I'm trying to keep my head down. I could kneel, but I doubt if I could ever.
Totally
get up.
understand. Yeah.
No worries.
My question is kind of more of a comment. I've noticed in Burgess Meredith, in the TV version of Batman, ran for mayor.
Yes.
Danny DeVito ran for mayor.
Yeah.
So, well, at least in your case, third time's a charm. What is it about the office of mayor that attracts the penguin so much?
Well, I think what I like about, I would say, it perfectly fits Oswald's personality. Especially if you're a cynic about politics, it's that's a place where he can sell himself as one thing, but we all know he's doing other things behind everyone's backs, and that's just sort of how he operates and how he always has, even in the original, the Adam West series, and also in Batman Returns. So I just think it's the perfect. Of course, he wants to be mayor, because he's he talks out of one side of his mouth, and says something out the other side. So yeah, it suits who he is.
Anyway, thank you and congratulations on the 4th season.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Well, that's also something that was in the comics at times. He had, I think, actually was elected mayor at one point in the comics. But that need for affirmation, when you kind of were developing the character, is that something that you saw in Burgess Meredith, in Danny DeVito, in the other incarnations, that's sort of been throughout? He has always sort of needed that love,
Yes,
in addition to craving power.
Yes, definitely. And that was I think you can tell that, there are times when Oswald is very vulnerable. And, and that was something that I wanted to, and not just I, but all of us wanted to bring to this character. That, the side when he's younger, before he becomes who we all know him to be later. There's vulnerability and sadness and fear and all that stuff going on. And all of that comes from, having felt like he was a loser his entire life and being told that he was ugly and, being bullied, horrifically. And, all of that stuff, is because that's why that's there. And so, yeah, that affirmation, it's he's this broken person who doesn't understand what love really is, and so he, is one of those people who I really do believe that he wants to become mayor. Because he thinks that love from people is real. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't know what love is. Anyway, I'm talking about that. So
No, it's a good response. Hi.
Hi.
I actually, there's a question here, but I grew up disabled. I actually walk with my feet out, so I walk a little bit like a penguin, and was bullied growing up being called penguin. How did you create the penguins walk? Your walk for the series?
How did I treat that, or is that what you said? I took it very seriously because it's part of his, again, his vulnerability and his character, and Danny Cannon was also very clear about that. He directed the pilot, and he didn't want some gross exaggeration. I wanted it to be real. I wanted it to be like, every step he takes, he feels pain. Like it hurts. Every single step hurts, and I want it to be, because it's such an integral part of who he is, And so I took it very seriously, and I had to, because I'm now walking like that for 3 years,
Well, I didn't take as dark of a path as Penguin did. I appreciate it being portrayed the way he did.
And I appreciate that, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Erin Baker from Plymouth, Michigan. I skipped 2 hours of school to see you.
Oh my gosh.
My question was, what's your favorite episode of Gotham that you've filmed so far?
My favorite episode of Gotham is episode 216, when Penguin's dad dies. But it's also the episode that I've never seen. So, I'm never gonna watch it, but it's my favorite episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was subsequently, it was this really crazy time when my dad on the show dies, and then my real dad actually died. And so, it brought the crew together in this really amazing way, and it's super special to me, so.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, just had a simple question. I know you guys have had before. Since you're going into the 4th season now, though, how is this looking for you? I guess, do you see yourself kind of going with this show for as long as it goes for, or is it kind of the long run for you?
I think we're just getting started. I was saying to someone else who came over today, and I was just like, I'm saying, like, we're going to season 4, that means 4 years of doing this. I feel like it was yesterday. I feel like I was hanging out with Fish Mooney, just like, yesterday. Yeah, so but I also say too, we're so fortunate. Our show, the trajectory of our show is so exciting because, there are some amazing shows out there that have amazing pilots and amazing first seasons, and then it's really hard to sustain that. Whereas I'm not saying anything bad about that. That's, just an experience that people have in television, which is basically supposed to be a never-ending thing. You're trying to sustain something and let it go on and on. Well, our first season, we were, I'm super proud of it, and we knocked it out of the park, but certain parts of it we were still figuring out. It was malleable at that point. And then our second season, we locked into something, and it was our best season. Then 3rd season, even better, and 4th season, I'm just like, yes, it's finally, we're all there. It's super exciting, and hopefully, seasons more after that. So, yeah. It's such a dream. We shoot in New York City, and we're shooting Gotham for New York, and I live in New York, and it's super exciting, we roll into town, it's like the Gotham crew, and it's really, really exciting. So it's 4 years.
Well, and it's true, the first season started out as sort of, there was more of a serialized kind of component to it, villain of the week type of formula initially before, even though they were great characters, it almost became more character driven, in the second season. I would
Yeah,
say.
it was just, it was a question of whether they wanted to go more in a narrative
Yeah.
or more in a procedural
Yeah.
format. And, I think, the narrative just made, we just have these amazing characters that you just want to live with them for a while. So I think, that's why it worked better for us.
Well, how far out, and I don't think I've asked you this before, but obviously the relationship between Oswald and Enigma is a great part of the show, and I think fan favorite. Do you guys like the Oswald-Enigma relationship? So, how far out was that kind of plan? Was that something in season 1 where Danny Cannon or whatever was saying, like, okay, so you guys have a long arc together, or was it just seeing the dynamic between you and Corey Michael Smith, where like, we have to do more with this?
I think it's a lot of it. I think it's all of that stuff. I mean, I think I think they knew, roughly that, throughout the course of our show, they wanted these supervillains to crash into each other, over time and interact with each other. But at the same time, and then Corey and I had that one scene in season 1, and there's something about it that just popped. Like it just and we all felt it, and I don't know. And so then they knew season 2, they were gonna build on that, and then of course, I had no idea it was gonna build to where it ended, in terms of the intensity of feeling for each other. I had no idea that was coming. But I'm glad it did, and Corey's the best. We have a lot of fun, so yeah.
It's a great dynamic. Hi.
My question was kind of where you were going with that. I follow the social media with Gotham, and you guys all seem so close. And I was just wondering, what's set life like? Are you guys all really close friends? Who are your closest friends on the show? How's that?
We are all friends. We're all equally friends. It's really weird, and I know people are rolling their eyes or whatever at that, but we really enjoy each other, and there's not one person that pulls rank or says, everyone is on equal footing on our show, and it really feels like a really intense theater company or something, you know what I mean? We're making this giant show for 9 months of the year, but it really does feel like a community, and and they're the best. I mean, I don't know, but it's I'm friends with everyone off of set. I'm really excited. I'm so excited mostly. I love our show, and I love the stories and the characters and everything, but I love the people the most. And that's the crew as well. And so finding we have season 4, it's just oh thank God, I wasn't ready to say goodbye. Yeah, I was I get to see these people again. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to say, more of a comment than anything. In my opinion, you make that show.
We all make the show without one person would completely fall apart, and it really is how it works. So thank you for watching the show.
But I just kind of wondering where it comes from, because the duality of the characters are amazing. The ruthless killer, the groveling servant, mastermind, where it just feels so much more complex than anybody else. So I'm just kind of wondering where they're pulling the ideas for him from.
It's Bruno Heller, it's John Stevens, and it's Danny Cannon, and it's the rest of our amazing writers. It starts with them. I mean, I auditioned not even knowing with a weird scene that they just wrote for the audition, and they didn't even give me a script. And so it was something that Oswald would do, but his name wasn't Oswald, and it wasn't a specific thing. So I didn't really know. But even from that scene, that duality was there. You know what I mean? It was clear as day on the page, and this was even a scene that that wasn't even in the pilot. They were just, auditioning with. So it comes from them all the way. Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you. Hello.
Will you impale me with an umbrella if I mention Dishonored 2?
Wait, what? Will I impale you with an umbrella if what?
If I mention Dishonored 2 for a minute?
Oh no, my God! Of course, Dishonored 2. Yeah, I did the voice of the outsider in Dishonored 2. It was really awesome job. I was really happy about that.
I actually came here just to show you my cosplay. I'm Kira Jindosh from Dishonored 2.
It's amazing. You look incredible.
Very
nice, very nice.
I was actually going to ask you, working with Corey, which one of you played the piano? Because I heard something on Twitter about one of you guys.
Corey is an amazing musician. He has a natural ear. He's a crazy singer, and he's also an incredible piano player. He also plays like several other instruments. Corey is like full-on Renaissance man. Yeah.
Did the feelings that you had for him in the show translate to like, did you really get a man crush on him?
Did you really get a man crush on him?
Did I have no, I did not. But I will say that, you know, like he's, you know, such a really great friend of mine, and like I feel like I've known him for longer than I have. It's just you know, sometimes you find that with people, and I just feel so fortunate that he happens to be, you know, I can be friends with the person that I have these amazing scenes with. It makes it all the better. So.
Well, you mentioned his musical ability, but you got to show off your singing ability just a couple of episodes ago. Yeah, that's right.
So speaking of Corey, so I had to sing this Amy Winehouse song, and it's a beautiful song, but it's one of her lesser known songs. And it's one of her very jazzy, riffy songs that only she could do. So they were like, "You're gonna sing the song," and I was like, "Great." But I was terrified, and my sister is an opera singer, so like, you know, the pressure is on in her family. You know, like she's the singer, I'm not. But anyway, so I had to sing this song, and then but the night before I had to record it, I was strapped. I don't know if you remember the episode before that, I was strapped to the hood of a car with like acid being dripped. You know, it was like when the Riddler had tied me up, and we were shooting in a warehouse in the middle of winter, and I'm screaming my face off. So my voice was totally shot. I was totally freaked out. I show up at the recording studio to sing the song, and they had like a vocal coach there for me, so it was like I was shaking. I made my husband go with me. I was like, "You're just going because I need you here." I was like, "Sit down. You don't even have to talk anymore. Just like, you're here." And so I get into the booth, and then they're like, "You know, it's really funny because you're singing this song in this booth. This is where she sang the song. Like she recorded all of Back to Black in this studio that used to belong to Mark Ronson, and yeah, that's where we recorded the song. It was really eerie, you know. But
did that reveal freak you out more? Because that's suddenly a lot more pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I was already like, I was already so freaked out. I was like, "Oh, really? Cool, weird. Oh, that's so weird. Dickie, that's really weird. What's going on?" Yeah, it was really intense, but well, whatever. It's over.
How much of the song did you actually record? Because we see just a snippet of it.
It was very little. It was probably just that. I think that's ultimately we knew it was just going to be that amount, so they didn't make me sing any more than I had to.
But it was well received enough that I would imagine there's talk of like going back to the musical kind of.
It's funny though. No, there is. Well, I would have issue with that because what I love about that episode is that's not Oswald. That is the Riddler's idea of who Oswald is. Like, and there's this other really awesome Easter egg in there, in that if you look at what I'm wearing the top hat and the tails, like the old penguin outfit, you know, from back before. But it's like the Riddler imagined it first. It started with him, you know? And it's like this really cool connection between the two of our characters. Like, we're always going to sort of be in each other's orbit. And yeah, I just think that's super cool.
Well, you know, Oswald keeps saying to Enigma, like I made you. But in a way, it's back and forth. Like, in a way, he's made Oswald.
Right, he's made him, but he made Enigma. He didn't make the Riddler. Ed made the Riddler. And so Oswald had to go away for the Riddler to be his own, for Enigma to be the Riddler and be his own, you know, be the captain of his own ship, basically. So, yeah.
Hi.